We're back on overtime here on WOTM. Pro Day at Alabama was held yesterday. A lot of those same scouts made their way out of Tuscaloosa, either to Baton Rouge, Louisiana for LSU's Pro Day or Gainesville, Florida for the Gators Pro Day today. And we will start with LSU. Ja'Marr Chase didn't play last year, obviously, because he took the year off after LSU won the national championship. So last time we saw him in person in a game, he was killing it. Didn't see him all of last year. Had 221 yards in the national championship game against Clemson. He held his pro day, and for a guy that didn't play football all last year, I thought he looked pretty good as far as in the drills. And a lot of people are saying that he and the Heisman Trophy winner, Devontae Smith, are kind of neck and neck as far as where they'll get drafted. Your thoughts on Ja'Marr Chase, both on the pro day and where you think that he'll land in a do you think that he'll have a kind of more fruitful career than the two guys at Alabama?
Well, you have another guy that had 215 yards in the national championship game this year, and they're kind of similar. I mean, they're like 1A and 1B. And I think if you go with either one, Chase is a little bit bigger, and maybe Devonta Smith gets the edge because more people saw him recently.
Right.
But whoever saw Ja'Marr Chase play in 2019, saw the offense that LSU had, they're not going to forget. I mean, they were absolutely explosive. They humiliated Oklahoma so bad in the semifinal game. They had, 60 points almost at halftime. Burrow had 7 touchdowns. So I think that this is a unique talent. Wide receivers now, they're not getting as much attention as they did back. Like I remember when Randy Moss slipped back in the 1998 draft and then wound up winning Rookie of the Year and was explosive. And guys like Michael Irvin, Jerry Rice, that were clear number one receivers. It's kind of like wide receiver by committee now. Right. But a guy like Chase can really lead the wide receivers on his team because he's so talented, he's so athletic, and he's pretty physical. I mean, now you see these cornerbacks are getting bigger and bigger. The day of the 5'9", kind of Aaron Glenn, 5'9", 180 quarterback is not around anymore. Most of these guys are at least 6 foot. So you need a guy who's physical and strong and being able to work in and out of his routes like Chase can do.
6 foot, 201, and kind of the number that everybody, raised their eyebrows at was he ran a 4.38 40-yard dash. It's blistering fast for the kind of size that he has, and a lot of people are kind of comparing him to maybe like a Tyreek Hill on the NFL level. We'll see how he does. Meanwhile, the top tight end prospect is Kyle Pitts out of Florida, and talk about a guy who had made himself a lot of money over the course of last year. I mean, a lot of people heard of Kyle Pitts last year, but he turned his season into just a huge check, and he'll obviously be a first-round draft pick, but maybe even a top 5, maybe top 7. He might be one of the top skill players outside of the 3 quarterbacks that might be taken. Your thoughts on both his year, his pro day, and kind of where you think that he kind of fits as far as the draft goes?
Yeah, well, they had the Kyle and Kyle show over in Florida with Kyle Trask and Kyle Pitts. And Pitts is a guy that, look, you saw me, it was a 4.40 for a tight end. And now you see there's very little difference now between a tight end and a wide receiver, except for the fact that a tight end is forced to line up on the offensive line.
Block a little bit, right?
Yeah, and block a little bit, which Pitts can do. Pitts has great hands. He didn't play in the bowl game, which you saw how lost Florida was without him when they got their doors blown off. I think this is a unique talent because of his speed. Look, Kellen Winslow for a long time was what represented the elite tight end because he was tall, he was fast, and he had great hands. Kyle Pitts is a lot better athlete, I hate to say it, than Kellen Winslow.
Right.
Okay? A lot better athlete than his son, which was supposed to be kind of the next generation of tight end.
Right.
You see how well some of these teams, Belichick, when they had, Aaron Hernandez and Gronkowski in 2011, how they used both of them on the offense. They're getting back to that now with the tight ends that they signed in the offseason, Janu Smith, and another really top-notch tight end. So a lot of teams figure in tight ends now to their office because if you're big and you're fast and you can catch the ball, why not? And these guys are very little difference now between them and the wide receivers. Pitts kind of represents what the tight end is becoming, kind of like some of these Patrick Mahomes guys. It represents what quarterback has turned into. It's all now based on speed, and it's all now based on the ability to break a game open with many things that you can do, whether it's running the ball, throwing the ball, or catching the ball.
Exactly. He's also a great route runner as well. He won't be listed on this list right here, but this is, according to Mel Kiper Jr., the top receivers in this upcoming draft. There's a lot of people who kind of shift around 1 and 2. He likes the Heisman Trophy winner from Alabama, Devontae Smith, as the number 1 wide receiver in as far as his rankings go. Jamar Chase at number 2, and Jalen Waddle, who spent some time on the sidelines with an injury last year, at number 3. I think those are going to be the 3 consensus top players. And then you have Kadarius Toney for Florida in at number 4. And then, Auburn fans very familiar with the guy at number 9, former track star Anthony Schwartz. Anybody stick out to you?
Elijah Moore had a very good season for Ole Miss. I mean, Ole Miss kind of got into the passing, but he was up there among league leaders until Devonta Smith just kind of said, okay, enough. And but Elijah Moore is a very good wide receiver. I think he'll be a good number 2 guy right now for any NFL team, and eventually be able to take over the game as he learns the NFL a little bit more. I think he's going to be one of the sleepers in this year's draft.
Terrace Marshall Jr. also from LSU. LSU had a down season, but they have a lot of talent in that locker room. I know Jamar Chase didn't play last year. We'll see how it all shakes out in the upcoming NFL draft. But we do expect at least those top 3 to go in the first round of the upcoming draft that comes your way next month. Well, coming your way right here on Overtime, we will shift gears over to college baseball. Of course, the pro season gets started tomorrow. The college season is already well underway. Auburn and Alabama not off to a great start in the SEC. We'll check in with the Tigers with a huge matchup coming up this week next year on Overtime.